It's time for the best of the Burg. We celebrate what makes Lynchburg such a great place to live, work, and play. The best of the Burg will tell you about the best places to visit, the best food, the best entertainment, and the people that make us proud to call the Hill City home. Best of the Burg is brought to you by Bank of the James, where community and banking come together for good. Learn more at bankofthejames.bank. Here are your hosts, Mary and Biscuit.
All right, here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Best of the Burg. Mary White, along with Anthony Biscuit McAvoy. It's our first Best of the Burg of May. And it is really starting to feel like spring out there with a really hot day outside. Everybody's coming in grumbling about the heat.
Although I'm happy about the heat.
Why is that?
Because I think that this is us getting into maybe the best time of the year. You know, once it gets hot, you've got baseball going on, you've got all the big sports and their playoffs. And then it's just nice to be able to sit outside for like an hour and not feel like you need to have 100,000 layers on.
It is nice, and it's not buggy.
Right.
Yet.
Yes.
But we're going to talk about that with our next guest here in just a second. I'm going to preview what's coming up on the program. We'll talk about some national days. Of course, we'll have happening in the Burg with events going on in the community. And we're going to hear from our friends with Beacon of Hope. And you know what's coming up is the Corn-A-Ment. Biscuit, rumor has it that you will be participating for James River Media in the Beacon of Hope the
That's
annual
what I've
Corn-A-Ment.
heard.
Yes, we're
coming back after a year hiatus.
Right.
I was so good they told me I couldn't come back.
I don't know if
year.
it's a good thing or a bad thing, but that's what we hear. Word on the street is that you're going to be in the Corn-A-Ment. But we're going to hear all about it and how folks can get involved, and also hear a lot about that great program, Beacon of Hope. Right now, though, we're talking with Chad Wheeler, WheelerGreen Lawn Care. Hi, Chad.
Hello again.
Good to see you.
Likewise.
For folks who aren't as familiar, just remind folks about WheelerGreen Lawn Care and what you do.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Chad Wheeler. I'm a local native here to Lynchburg, Virginia. Been in the landscape turf industry for almost 2 decades. Got a lot of experience with horticulture, turf. So WheelerGreen Lawn Care, we are a local lawn care company, lawn treatment company. We're not one of the big national chains. Big picture, we do lawn treatment services, fertilization, weed control, pest control, mosquito, flea, and tick, tree and shrub care. Also been doing a lot of mold control this spring, and we also do some landscaping and grounds management contracting. So, one-stop shop.
I love your slogan, which is, we take the guesswork out of your grass work.
We do.
Let's talk about the springtime. Biscuit and I were just saying how it's really spring out there, right? It's warming up. Sun is shining, at least right now. And is this a busy time for you guys at WheelerGreen Lawn Care?
Yeah, it's been a very, very busy spring, thankfully. Having a lot of fun. Got a lot of new customers. Some of that in part to our partnership with WLNI. Mm-hmm. A lot of great listeners here. It's been busy. We're here. It's crazy to believe already May. It's been kind of dry the last couple of weeks. Normally we're working our tails around rain, but very busy.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, we need rain. Need rain for the grass to grow and for trees and shrubs. But we got some thankfully coming in this weekend. So
got a little this morning too. I mean, I remember when I woke up this morning. I woke up because of the rain.
Did you really?
The thunder.
Yeah.
It was thundering?
Yeah.
I just, when we come in early when it's dark, and so you can't really look at the sky and think, oh, it looks like it's going to rain. So I'm driving along thinking it's perfectly clear outside, and all of a sudden it was a deluge. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of surprised by that. And so, yeah, are those, what kind of, is it just a good soaking rain, though, that's the best for yards, Chad?
Ideal. I mean, when it's been as dry as this, when you do have that heavy rain, like at 5 o'clock this morning, it just, at our house in Forest, just came down and I looked at the radar, and it was purple and pink and blue, and so you get some erosion. Like, you do want a good steady. Same if you had an irrigation system in your yard. A good deep rain is the best. But whatever we can get. I mean, we're now gone from just in a drought to a moderate drought. So we need some rain.
Yep. Give us some tips for folks who are kind of DIYers out there taking care of their yards.
Sure. So high level, as we're getting into May, we're going into our round 3 here at WheelerGreen. You should have already gotten your pre-emergence down. Early in the spring, crabgrass is already starting to emerge. With some of this warmer temperatures, if you're going to still fertilize, make sure it's a good slow release fertilizer, nothing that's going to burn up the yard. Same when it comes to weed control, as we're getting into these 80, 85, almost 90-degree days. Be careful with how you're applying it. Try to do it maybe early in the morning or in the evening, not the heat of the day, so you don't burn up your yard. So just be very careful how much you put down. Of course, you want to do read the label, follow law. So there's that.
Did you say follow the law?
Follow the label's the law. We talked about that a couple months ago.
That's right. Yeah.
Let's see what else. You should have a sharp mowing blade. That is a key. So when it comes to mowing, good sharp mowing blade. You should have gotten your mower serviced over the winter. Mow high. That also helps too.
Okay. Biscuit, are you listening as a homeowner?
So don't mow at the lowest possible blade setting.
No. You should be mowing your lawn when it's actively growing in the spring. Every 4 to 5 days. Don't wait more than a week, but don't wait till your yard gets to 10 inches tall and then come try to cut it back short. Again, that will stress out your lawn and cause some discoloration. But
whoops.
Biscuit, you don't want to stress out your lawn.
I think my lawn is stressed.
It sounds like somebody in this studio just mowed his lawn the wrong way.
Yeah.
And it wasn't
Or
Chad.
is probably going to mow their lawn the wrong way in the next day or two.
Wow.
Yeah. Having a great lawn, mowing is a huge component with it as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to mow high regularly. Same like summer's coming up, people will be taking vacation. So when you come back from a week, don't just come in and just, if your yard is tall. 'Cause summertime we get a lot of those thunderstorms where, yards might not dry up. You'll be mowing all summer just from those afternoon thunderstorms.
So spring is the big time to get your yard in shape, for lack of a better word. Is that right? And then summer, not so much?
Well, it really depends. I mean, if you're on a fertilization weed control regimen, we're doing a lot of the heavy lifting in the spring with the pre-emergence and the weed control and slow release fertilizers in preparation. So summer, we can take it easy.
Can be on kind of cruise control.
Sure. That's exactly it. Autopilot, cruise control. And then in the fall, we're pushing more lawn renovations, aeration and overseeding. But then we're getting a lot of new customers even calling now. So we're trying to catch them up. We're trying to customize a program for them in preparation for the fall lawn renovation. So we're doing our soil testing, sending that to Virginia Tech. They're backed up right now. I think last week I mailed off 63 soil tests for last week. So that's something your local WheelerGreen pros are passionate about and serious about. We will test your soil.
And when you do that testing, what are you testing for? I mean, is it something like, I don't want to say a disease, but something that would hamper your lawn from growing well? No, well, so ultimately we're looking at the pH value that comes back, but also you get your macronutrients in there, so your most nitrogen's not going to be included on there, but your phosphorus, potassium. So we're just looking at those values, and there's some micronutrients that it'll come in and give you a report. Is it where it should be? Is it high, low? And it'll give some recommendations, but ultimately it's the pH value. Because if your lawn is struggling to get grass to grow, or it's just not unperforming and your pH is too low, we need to do a alignment amendment to bring that up. And same if we are dealing with a problem lawn and you're hiring us to come take in, and we know we're going to do a fall lawn renovation. To do a lime amendment, we usually do those in the first of the summer because they can take 2 to 3 months to get activated in the soil. So that's primarily what we're looking at, because we have acidic soils around here in Central Virginia. Also, one thing a lot of people don't realize is the natural rainfall that we get. We thankfully do live in a green state, but the pH value of rain is 5.6. So you're always going to have some acidic soils, but we really just want to get the soil right, the foundation, and then once we do all those corrections, then we can get back on cruise control. So
we're speaking with Chad Wheeler, WheelerGreen Lawn Care. We mentioned at the very beginning that it's warm. It's not too buggy yet, but that's probably a different story with you, Chad. You mentioned, are you seeing the ticks and the bugs, but you do pest control with WheelerGreen.
We certainly do. Our pest control program is a little bit different than the traditional pest extermination. So we really like to stay out of your house, no chemicals inside, no appointments. We do a perimeter barrier around your home, give you much better protection. But we also offer flea and tick, as well as mosquito services. Those insects are starting to come out a little bit more right now. One new development, we've got an invasive species that called the European crane fly. Last week, a few of counts. specific in the Forest area, Rustford Greenhouse, and even the other day at Smith Mountain Lake. These are heavily infested. They're swarms of thousands of these, and they will eat up your yard. So be on the lookout for them. Look it up. If you only have a few, you should be fine, but you do need to get those treated if you want to save your turf.
All right, Biscuit. Are you looking at it?
I'm looking at one right now, I believe, and it looks kind of like a mosquito, but the back end.
That's what everyone says. But they're like 2 inches.
Oh, they're huge.
They're good size.
Yeah.
And what they're called, the European crane fly.
European crane fly, certainly.
And so folks only see a couple of them, they're fine.
I think so. If it's just a couple, but
what do you do to treat for mosquitoes? That's something that is pretty prevalent. What kind of treatment do you use?
Certainly. So we just switched this year to an all-natural product, because most folks, we want it safe for kids, pets, for the whole family to be outside. Most of the folks that call in, they want to keep their kids safe. But So mosquitoes, we have a fogging machine. We come in, we treat the underside of your ornamentals, the breeding places where the mosquitoes like to live and breed. The fleas and the ticks, they're usually going to be in your lawn, shady spaces on the wood line. So got to treat your whole lawn for that. If you have historically a bad flea and tick or mosquito problem and you call us, jump on board, we're probably going to do a couple applications back to back to really get that knocked down the first of the year. And then after that, we do once a month, or we really work with you, figure out how often you want to get the services done.
Yeah. I'm looking through some more tips that you have for folks. You mentioned the sharp blade and mowing high, and being cautious about your weed control. Have you had some horror stories of people like burning their lawns?
Yeah. If you're just in the heat of the day applying some of that, or you're applying too much nitrogen to your lawn, as we're getting into the summer months, that's where you really want that slow release fertilizer. Yeah. So as the lawn starts to then get stressed and the lack of water, like, you don't want to burn up your lawn when your lawn's trying to, it's going from top growth to bottom growth of roots. But that nitrogen is going to push top growth. Yeah. And then when you have the stress of the drought, so you can easily burn up your lawn if you're not careful.
You can tell Chad is he's taking the guesswork out of your grass work. You know what you're doing. It's great.
Thank you.
And Chad, right now, we've talked about this drought. Should people water their lawns? Are you pro that, or are we very much against that right now?
Absolutely. When it gets dry like this, most folks don't think about watering the lawn until the summertime. Again, normally April showers bring May flowers, but April was a pretty dry month. So typically your lawn's going to need about 1 inch of water a week, whether you have an irrigation system or you supplement. Really just when it gets really dry, you just want to supplement some of that water with your on your lawn. Water in the morning time. I know last summer we had that really hard drought in May and June, and I get it. People work. They don't get home until 6, and to get out and drag hoses around in the morning time, it's inconvenient, but you're just better off let your yard go dormant in the summer versus watering at night, because that is a breeding ground for turf disease and fungus and brown patch, and saw a lot of that last summer when we had that drought and people watering at the wrong times, and then we had to reverse some things.
How can folks get in touch with you if they have questions, if they want a consultation, that kind of thing?
I would love to have a conversation with you about your lawn or answer any questions. Helps me out if you go to WheelerGreenLawnCare.com. There's some information on there to learn about us. Fill out the inquiry form. That way I already have all your property information and everything. So I can give you a call, because I do work in the field 90% of the time, and you might call when I'm driving. So it does help me out. But otherwise, just give me a call. I'm very good about answering the phone or calling you right back and see how I can help you. If I can give you a price over the phone, that's great. If I need to come out and do a free lawn evaluation, I can do that as well. Easy to get in touch with.
WheelerGreenLawnCare.com. Chad Wheeler, thanks so much.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Biscuit.
We'll all be doing our little rain dance and hoping for rain to make your job easier, certainly, and to make everybody's lawns more beautiful. But Chad, thanks so much for talking to us on Best of the Burg, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Have a great weekend.
Stay tuned for more of the Best of the Burg. Welcome back to the Best of the Burg. We want to hear from you. Call or text 846-8255.
The hand extended will always be
Welcome back to Best of the Burg. Mary White along with Anthony Biscuit McAvoy. We love to feature local musicians here, and that's Andy Henson. Old Friend is the name of the song. Andy has been playing professionally since he was 17 years old and was recently signed to Golden Robot Global Entertainment, where he released that single that you're hearing now, Old Friend. That's his first single. Cool. Biscuit, what national days are we celebrating?
So, a bit of an interesting week. We've got some good ones, we've got some not so good ones, and we've got one that I know that you're probably excited for.
Okay.
So we'll get to that one here in a couple minutes.
Okay.
Monday was National Superhero Day.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite superhero?
I guess just Superman, old school.
He's nice. He's good.
Who's yours? You obviously have one.
I would be as a comic book fan, I've got a favorite Marvel superhero and I've got a favorite DC superhero. So Batman's probably my favorite DC superhero. Mm-hmm. Spider-Man probably my favorite Marvel superhero.
Okay.
Wednesday was National Bubble Tea Day, also known as Boba Tea. Mm-hmm. You a fan of that?
I am.
I am as well.
Yes.
Now, for those of you who are not 100% sure what that is, it's a something that originated in Taiwan in the 1980s. It is a tea-based drink that most often, and I would say should always contain, little tapioca balls at the bottom that are flavored, as well as some sort of milk, whether that's almond or whatever milk you choose to drink. Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite flavor that goes at the bottom for you for the
mocha,
little balls?
Mocha, I guess, or if you do the fruit's all like a strawberry. Mm-hmm. But it's just that texture. I like them. I like them a lot. And
sometimes it's always that little surprise when you think you kind of, I guess, zone out after not taking a sip for a couple minutes, and then you take another sip. You're like, oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah,
I'm having boba. So yeah, there's a really good place downtown.
Mizumi.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then I forgot the name of the place. It's on Ward's Road that I've been to. It's right next to the one of the eyeglass places, but also a really nice boba tea there. Also, Wednesday is National Adopt a Shelter Pet Day. Now, I've done that, so I'm maybe the moral superiority today.
What? I've adopted shelter pets.
So we both are.
Yes. But I mean, it's a great thing to do.
It is.
In fact, the Lynchburg Humane Society is in the latest issue of Home magazine with their new veterinary clinic that they are opening up next to the center there. And then there are other animal rescue shelters in the community, in addition to the Lynchburg Humane Society, but there are others in the different counties that work really hard to find pets a new home. Our neighbors just rescued 2 big, huge, fluffy black cats, brother and sister. Mm-hmm. And so that's fun. They were they're middle-aged cats whose owners, for whatever reason, couldn't keep them, and that's always good when you can give a pet a new lease on life, if you will. So and then we've gotten kittens there too, which is always fun.
It's always fun. And of course, I've been very open about this. I got my cat.
Yes.
From a shelter. Now, Mary, we've only got a minute left, so here's what I'm almost positive that you're so excited for. It's Saturday.
What is it?
The Kentucky Derby.
Of course.
Are you having a party?
Not having a party this year. I'll be watching, though. I know you're always into this. Who's the favorite?
I believe the favorite this year at 3-1 is, funnily enough, named Journalism.
That's an odd name for a horse.
That's a fantastic name for
journalism.
a horse.
Okay, well, we'll be rooting for him. I did read that they'd had such severe flooding in Louisville, Kentucky, that they were worried about the Derby, but they'll be having it.
I feel like you had to have had it.
Yeah, and it's goodness knows they have had the Derby when it's just drenching, just pouring rain, and the horses are running through slop, mud, and that makes it more interesting.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
When you're watching on TV. When you're there, not so much.
Probably not. Although at least they're wearing hats when they're there.
That's right. Okay, well, good. That's always, what is it they say, the fastest
90 seconds in
No,
sports
it's
or
longer
something
than
like that.
Maybe 3 minutes. I can't remember. Fastest 3 minutes in sport, or the most exciting.
2
the
minutes
most
in sports.
exciting. Yes, and it is an exciting time. Coming up on Best of the Burg, we'll check in with our friends from Beacon of Hope about the Corn-A-Ment. It's coming up. It's also very exciting, and we'll talk about it next.
You can email us at WLNI@cvfp.net.
Hi, this is Brandon Farmer with Bank of the James, and you're listening to the Best of the Burg here on WLNI.
Welcome back to Best of the Burg. Mary White along with Anthony Biscuit McAvoy, and it's time for
Partnering for Good. Brought to you by Bank of the James. Learn more at bankofthejames.bank.
And we're so pleased to welcome to the studio for Partnering for Good our friends from Beacon of Hope. Leidra McQueen and Virginia Scott are here. Hi, good to see you guys.
Hi.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Corn-A-Ment. Corny, is that what you call it? Corn-A-Ment? Yeah. And it's coming up on May 17th.
Yes.
And this is the 11th annual.
Yes. And it's also World Whiskey Day again. Totally by chance, but it happened at least a second year. I don't know if it happened previous years.
Remind listeners about the Corn-A-Ment, how folks can get involved in the Corn-A-Ment. We're just going to be talking about all things Corn-A-Ment. I know Biscuit's excited because he gets to represent us.
I get to make my return.
Yes, he gets to represent us this year. So let's talk about Corn-A-Ment.
Yeah, I mean, it is so fun. You know, it's this massive lawn party at Oakwood right there off Rivermont. And we have a bracket of teams. So, you know, you've got the cornhole competition going, but we also have live music from 3 Days Notice, our favorite dad band in town. Yeah. And we've got a fantastic, delicious buffet with some fried chicken and barbecue from the chefs over at Oakwood. And then, you know, we're celebrating with token for a libation to celebrate World Whiskey Day. But it's really about like community and the camaraderie within Lynchburg and the business sort of landscape. We have a lot of businesses that send folks to compete. So yes, Select Bank, they were our champions last year. Can't wait to see you throw against them this year, Biscuit.
Well, as like I said, as long as we lose to the eventual winners, that's all I'm here for.
Yes. And
and the little inside story there is that for James River Media last year, it was my son and his then fiance, and now they're married, and they're going on their honeymoon that weekend of the Corn-A-Ment, Virginia, and he's angry that he's not going to be able to participate in the Corn-A-Ment. He's going on his honeymoon, but he's mad that he's not going to be in the Corn-A-Ment. That's how much he loves the Corn-A-Ment.
And that's why I had to come out and
retire.
retire.
Right. But it's just the great, fun, relaxed atmosphere, but also the competition, and it's just a great, like you said, a lawn party vibe.
Yeah.
Right there on River. Is that Rivermont or Boonesboro? We've been having the.
I think
right there
it
where
connects. Isn't Link Road where it actually connects? So just down the street.
Just down the street.
Yeah.
So it's a great time, and remind listeners about the other things you have going kind of in association with Corn-A-Ment.
Yeah, we have 4 wonderful raffle packages. So one of them to, go along with the theme of the World Whiskey Day, we've partnered with Virginia Distillery Company, and there's a really cool experience, like a master class that you'd be able to do with 5 of your best friends. And then there's a staycation package with a night at the Virginian, a $50 gift card to Isabella's for dinner, and then a month-long membership at Super Rad, a beautiful handmade 100% sterling silver bangle that Elle Oppelman donated to us, and then a returner from last year's raffle package, actually a 5-day, 4-night stay in Topsail Island at a beach house that is, fully replete with all the things that you might need for a fantastic family getaway.
Wow, great raffle prizes. And so folks just need to go to the website to be able to buy the tickets, right?
Sure. So Corn-A-Ment.org, but also our social media, our Instagram page. We've got a link tree up that has the links there, and we'll be pushing it on Facebook as well. So there is an event on Facebook. If that's kind of where you do your social calendaring, it's there.
So what are you looking most for teams, for people to buy raffle tickets, for sponsors, for volunteers? What do you need the most?
Yeah, I mean, we love having a full bracket. If there's anybody out there who's like, yeah, I think this would be great, like team bonding, absolutely contact me. Let's get you a team. And then also our raffle packages. We just launched them today. So, there's not a ton of competition right now. So might want to get your raffle packages in. They're $20 for a ticket, or we bundled it you can do 6 for $102.
And you get to put them into the different buckets, depending on which prize you might want to try for the most.
Exactly.
We're speaking with Virginia Scott, and Leidra McQueen is here as well with Beacon of Hope. And just remind listeners, Leidra, if you want to chime in about everything that Beacon of Hope is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. Corn-A-Ment is the fun side of what we do. That's the party, but the party continues with the work that we do with students in Lynchburg City Schools, and that's the whole purpose of having the Corn-A-Ment, so that we can continue the good work that we do, helping young adults navigate what it is they would like to do after high school, whether that's direct to workforce, community college, 4-year school, whatever it is. We want to help support that, and the funds that we get to raise through the fun competition at Corn-A-Ment allows us to do that. And one of our primary sources for supporting students is our Stay Close, Go Far scholarship. We support students to stay local, whether that's attending our local community college debt-free, or any of our 4-year partners from Liberty to Longwood to the University of Lynchburg and Sweetbriar. We encourage our students to stay local and get what they need here.
The Stay Close, Go Far scholarship you mentioned, that it covers their CVCC tuition.
Absolutely
right?
free, yes.
That's amazing. And it's for the Lynchburg high schools,
Yes.
Heritage and EC Glass. And I remember personally, I think when my first one graduated, you had just started it, and they asked, and they might have asked who was doing that, and they had a handful of students. And then when I had one graduate 4 years later, they said, who's doing the Stay Close, Go Far? And it was just dozens of students all standing up that they were taking advantage of that scholarship. It was great.
Yeah, it's grown from year to year, and we have close to 1,400 students who are within our network. They've either taken advantage of the scholarship or they're still in communication with us. We have an Office of College and Career Success. So once a student graduates from high school, Beacon of Hope still wants to stay in their world. And we have a whole team, 4 staff members who are dedicated to ensuring students have what they need, whether they're in the workforce, they need help with their resume, their LinkedIn profiles, or they're continuing to just navigate that adult world. And so we've seen the number of students who are taking advantage of the scholarship increase each year, and we get to support them as they navigate that.
What do you hear from students, or in your career centers, as they're juniors, seniors in high school? What are they saying about the world today that they're about to enter? Are they saying, well, I know that's such a...
What a great and simple question to answer.
Well, no, I'm just curious. Are they thinking, I need to go to college, or I just want to make a lot of money, or I don't know what I'm going to do? What are they... Are they afraid, or what are they thinking?
We hear a lot of the I want to make money. And we say, yeah, we all do. So let's back up a little bit. What are you interested in? What do you want to do? We hear helping people a lot, and that's broad, from the medical field to the nonprofit space that we exist in. The world is changing rapidly, and students have opportunities that they didn't have. I would say that the conversation around college and workforce is changing. There's a big push for workforce. We need young adults to be able to come in, especially let's talk about just the Lynchburg region and filling the jobs here. We want to make sure that we have a sustainable economy, and that our young adults are contributing to that, and they have what they need to change their families' trajectories. And so we, over the years, have really started to balance our conversations around both college and career, and letting students know one is not better than the other. The ultimate goal is the career, regardless of what that looks like. And so we help them navigate what those spaces look like, and say, hey, are you looking for something short term? Are you looking for something long term? and we do our best to connect the dots for them.
Yeah, because as much as you all will help students who want to take that college route, college is not for everybody.
Right.
And there's so many opportunities for kids who don't want to pursue that. They want to go right into the workforce, as you said, or maybe the military. There's so many different options.
I will say that I think that that's the thing that I'm probably happiest about as I've gotten older and watched my brother go through trying to navigate that end of high school into life. Because for me, when I was in high school, even just at this point almost 10 years ago, is that it was college is the only answer.
Right.
And I felt like that was such a disservice to so many of my classmates, because for a majority of them, that wasn't the answer.
Right.
And so I'm really glad that we've got these resources to let kids know that, look, there are these things that you can do, whether that's, going into these STEM programs and getting, your electricians, whatever, at 18 years old and making more money than the people that are sitting there losing money at college.
Right.
I love the way some of the programs now have signing day where the young people are signing on to the company that they're going to work
That's one of our activities. May 16th, I was going to say March, but Friday, May 16th, both Heritage and EC Glass will be celebrating students and where they're going, whether they're signing on with a company or going into the military or going to college. So that's been a part of our annual end of the year activities for the past 13, 14 years. And so we're excited to be able to do that again. And Corn-A-Ment allows us to do that.
Signing day in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
That's exciting. I know that May is a super busy month for you all. And you just finished up your kind of signature event with Hope X. How was that?
Oh, it was such a blessing, to our organization, the whole night. I think I can speak for the whole Beacon team that we all left that event kind of walking on air, because the speaker slate really spoke to not just the heart of what we do, but also, again, community, like celebrating Lynchburg. We have so many amazing people in this community, and really being able to highlight that, it really just swells your heart.
Yeah. And then this month, May, Leidra mentioned the signing day. You have a deadline for the Stay Close, Go Far coming up. I mean, this is time when graduations are happening, and this is where it's all top of mind what the kids' future is.
Yes. So our Stay Close, Go Far scholarship deadline is May 15th. We will have Decision Day on May 16th. We will have Corn-A-Ment on May 17th. And then we'll host all 600 LCS middle school students at Randolph College later in the month. Each middle school gets to spend a day on campus. We run them through activities that are college and career focused, and then they get to end with a big tailgate and have fun and have that experience with music and pizza and all the fun things. And then we end the month with graduation and walking right into our summer internship program for our rising juniors and seniors.
Oh, yeah. So talk about the summer internship program.
Yes. So I would say this is probably my favorite program right now because it really rounds out the services that we get to provide as an organization. It is a hands-on, paid, experiential learning opportunity for Lynchburg City Schools, rising juniors and seniors. We send them through a week of training with our Beacon staff and community members, and then they get to spend another 60 hours on job sites for the remainder of the month of June. And they get to find out they really like this company or they like this job or they really don't, which is just as important as figuring out what they do like. So we've been running this program now. This will be our 4th summer. There will be more than 300 students who have successfully completed a summer internship program that they get to put on their resume and leverage. And we've had many companies hire our students. And so as they're starting to get older, they're getting to start those apprenticeships. Southern Air has been a big partner, Jamerson Lewis. I can name them all. There's been more than 40 companies over the past 4 years that we've been working with who've been amazing to our students.
And you mentioned that beginning part of it is where you're working with the students on kind of preparing them for the internship, because I remember that not all of them know what to wear, how to dress professionally if that's that kind of environment, and to show up on time and all the things that some of these kids just don't have any experience with.
Yeah, these are soft skills, but really they're life skills. So we all need to know how to get up in the morning and show up to work on time. And so we get to be a part of that experience with students, making sure that they are going into these internships prepared. And the feedback that we've gotten from the businesses is that our students have been more prepared than folks that are just, submitting their resume, blindly. And so we take pride in the programming that we're putting on.
Congratulations on all the great programs and activities that you have lined up for the middle schoolers and, of course, the high schoolers as they get ready for their next steps. And then, of course, the Corn-A-Ment, the 11th annual Corn-A-Ment, Corny, is May 17th. It's a Saturday evening at Oakwood. And Virginia, just folks want to sign up or get the details. What do they need to do?
Yeah, so go and visit www.cornament.org, so CORNAMENT, phonetically spelled out. And we've got some great showcasing of what it looks like, and then check out our socials. Instagram and Facebook, we'll have the links on our link tree and posted within the events on Facebook.
And get a team, compete against Biscuit and Reed. Biscuit and Reed Ebert are going to be the team JRM.
I love it.
And
Biscuit's going to win. I feel it.
Do you think Reed has a better attitude than I do?
I think he has a better attitude than your previous partner had, and I think
the previous partner was Brian, so that's already a higher bar.
I wasn't going to name names, but I think that will make a world of difference.
God, I hope so.
And then, of course, the great raffle items as well. So Virginia and Leidra, thank you both so much for being here on Best of the Burg.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you again. We should mention that our very own Dennis Carter and Rich Roth are going to be the MCs of Corn-A-Ment, walking around and getting the stories of the teams. And I'm sure they'll be giving people a hard time, but just having a good time, too.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Great time. So, Virginia and Leidra, thank you both so much. We'll be right back with Happening in the Burg right after this.
More of the Best of the Burg coming up right after this quick break.
Hi, this is Carl Miller from The Carl Miller Show, and you're listening to the Best of the Burg.
Welcome back in here to the Best of the Burg. Mary White, Anthony McAvoy, and of course, it's the last segment of the show, so it is time for one of our favorite segments.
Happening in the Burg.
We have a good bit here to talk about, Mary. Let's start. This starts Friday. It is already underway as we speak. And this runs until Sunday at 5 p.m. Mary, it's a yearly tradition. We talk about it every year. It's not just the Kentucky Derby. It's also the 100-mile yard sale going down Route 29 from Danville all the way to Amherst. There you can find literally just about anything I think that you could possibly find. Here they said sell, buy, trade. This is 4 days in the first weekend of May. They also do it in the fall as well. There's, I think, a lot of information for this on Facebook if you were curious about it. Do you have an event?
Yes, we are going to go live to we can just take, I know who it is, Biscuit, you can hot punch it. We're going to talk about an event by the Society of St. Andrew. And joining us now is Chesley Voden to talk about Chesley, good morning.
Good morning.
So, yes, it is in Bedford, I'm trying to remember, the potato drop?
Yeah, we're having a crop drop. Potato party at Bedford Elementary School tomorrow morning. And we welcome all those who need more food on their table to come by and get a bag of potatoes. And if you'd like to actually volunteer to bag potatoes, and we're breaking them down from 50-pound bags to 10-pound bags to give away between 11 and 1. We'll be giving them away.
And that's, give the place and the time again.
Yes, it is at Bedford Elementary School, which is located right near the D-Day Memorial, right off 460. And the time for the drive-through will be 11 until 1. To
get a big old bag of potatoes. The Society of...
they're 10 to 12-pound bags. And the Society of St. Andrew is partnering with Bedford Police Department and Bedford Elementary School to make this happen. So we're very grateful for the collaboration to make all this happen. 21,000 pounds of potatoes will be given away at Bedford Elementary School tomorrow.
Great. Thanks so much, Chesley.
Thank you.
The Society of St. Andrew, gleaning America's fields, feeding America's hungry. What else, Biscuit?
So, Mary, what's today?
Oh, it's First Friday.
It is First Friday.
Yes.
So we've got a bunch of stuff downtown. But the thing that I want to highlight is if you go to the Lynchburg Museum at 5 o'clock today, they will be unveiling their new exhibit. I believe this is the exhibit for May. I'm not sure how long it's going to be in the museum, but it's called Hot and Cold Wars, Lynchburg at Home and Abroad. And it is an exhibit about how Lynchburg contributed to the Cold War, which I find very interesting. So I will probably be checking that out this weekend.
They always have great exhibits there at the Lynchburg Museum. It's also the International Festival.
Yeah.
This weekend, Saturday, in downtown Lynchburg. I know a lot of folks are excited about the annual International Festival on Main Street downtown. They've closed off several blocks. It's like a block party, and that's from 11 to.
Give me 1 second.
11 to. I've just been talking about this. Get down there at 11 for the Parade of Nations. That's the main thing. And then hang around for the rest of the day. How about that? We hope, however you spend
4
your...
p.m.
11 to 4. We hope that however you spend your weekend, you have a wonderful time doing it. We're grateful to you for listening to Best of the Burg. We're grateful to Bank of the James for sponsoring Best of the Burg. And we will see you back here next Friday. Have a great week. So long.